All right. Happy Thursday and welcome to our Thursday call. As always, we're going to continue to do this every Thursday. The intentions of these trainings are always to keep you informed on what's going on in market conditions, as well as lending updates, as well as any office updates that you should know about. And also with that, it's always to keep your business consistent, increase your income now, and to lower any cost of doing business. So as realtors, we always have some downtime. I know most of us work Monday through Friday, but there's days that we may not have a whole lot going on. We're not out showing property. We're not out working a listing appointment. So what can we do in that time to keep us generating income and keeping our business consistent? So I made a list of some activities, and these are all free activities that we should be doing on a daily basis. If not, when you definitely have time to keep your business going and consistent and keep that pipeline always flowing. So the first thing on my list is going through your database and writing some handwritten cards or notes to past clients. Everybody loves to get mails still. I mean, it's almost obsolete, but how nice is it to get a piece of birthday card or the anniversary of the day that they bought their card, or just a little handwritten note saying, hope you're enjoying the first year in your home. If you know anyone out there that may need my services, please be sure to refer me, and stick a business card in it. The next thing on my list is to maybe shadow somebody that day. Maybe ask somebody who has a listing appointment, can I go along with you and learn how to give a better listing presentation, or learn how other people are doing it? You can always learn from your peers. Even if you take one thing away from it and apply it to how you present during a listing presentation, it may just increase your business. The next one on my list is always to sit in an open house. I know you might not have any listings, but this is a great time to go through the office listings. You guys can all access it directly from your MLS and call somebody and say, hey, I noticed you have a listing coming on the market soon. Are you planning on doing an open house? Can I do it? Open houses are still the greatest source of lead generation. Buyers are walking in off the street. They're looking on Zillow. They're walking in unaccompanied, and you just might get something else out of it. I generally always get at least one decent quality lead from sitting in open house. And with that, it's usually about 3 hours of my time. It's probably somewhere around $15,000 worth of commission. So I just made about $5,000 an hour. So it's definitely worth to sit open houses. Update your social media. And I don't mean to sit and scroll and get lost on Facebook or Instagram and seeing what everybody's up to and connecting with people from high school that don't even live in the state. But updating your social media presence is maybe making it more of a little bit professional, putting in something in the bio line, making sure your place of employment is there. When you come into the office, you should check in. That check in everybody sees, and it's a nice way to remind them that you're still in real estate. You're checking in. Maybe the next time you're out showing property, it's a great time to take a quick picture showing this beautiful house today. So make sure we're doing that, but don't get lost spending too much time on social media. This is also a great time. Next on my list is to visit a new home construction. See what's out there. A lot of people are drifting towards new home construction. There's some going on in the area in Parkland and over in Boca, or maybe drive up to Port St. Lucie, where people are flocking to St. Lucie County because Broward and Palm Beach are just getting so unaffordable. So we're seeing more and more people flock up there. Connect with them. Learn more about inventory, and then you're connecting with them and seeing how maybe you can. And it's also something you can add to your social media. People are always asking me for content. Visit it, D.R. Horton's new property, or whatever property you may visit. Next on my list is a bio. Do you guys have a written bio? Do you have something about yourself that you can attach to all your profiles that you have? If you need any suggestions, you can always take a look at mine. If you go to United's website, it's right on there. If not, it's also on my realtor.com, my Zillow, and so forth. The next is to update your Zillow and realtor.com. You've got access to these profiles, and people do Google us. If they want to know that they're working with the realtor, they'll tend to Google us and see what type of internet presence we have. Google yourself and see what's out there. But updating your profile on Zillow and Realtor.com always is a great thing to do too. Circle dialing around new listings, just sold or just listed, or even an open house or FSBOs. It's not something everyone likes to do, but listen, it's a great thing to do to generate, and it doesn't take that much time. There are tons of sites out there, one being Cole Realty Resource, that you can map out to get phone numbers of those potential people and the sellers, and you can just pick any listing and you can say, hey, there's a new listing in your neighborhood. Do you know anyone who may want to buy into your neighborhood? Trust me, when people see a for sale sign on their neighbor's front lawn, everyone gets concerned about who it is. We also we know that we have a lot of people that love their neighbors and maybe know somebody that wants to move in their neighborhood. I lived in the same neighborhood for over 20 years in Coconut Creek, and we all knew it, everyone on the block. We had block parties at New Year's Eve. All the kids would run around and play. And I actually have 2 sets of sisters that moved in there. 2 were the original owners that moved in with me. And because Halloween and everything was such a great time for the kids in the neighborhood, when it came time to list those, they wanted their sisters to move in. So I lived on a circle, and on that circle, I have 2 sets of sisters. Both the ones later came in and bought the house because they just love the neighborhood so much. So that's a great way to do that. You can do it around just sold or too. We just sold a home in your neighborhood. Do you know how much your home is worth? It's a great place to get your foot in the door for a listing appointment. My next one on my list is, if you've got nothing to do, go preview some vacant listings so that you can maybe start marketing them. Hey, I'm showing this great home today. Doesn't have to know that you're on a company, besides the fact that it keeps you well informed of the inventory that's out there. I wouldn't suggest doing it on occupied properties because it does put a seller out if you're just doing it. But on some of these vacant homes, it gives you a great opportunity. So when people say, hey, did you see that house? Yes, I did. I actually already toured it. It's also great when you're taking a listing in a neighborhood to go tour the other ones that are around it. So you know exactly what they show, because we all know that those pictures aren't always the best. Because my pictures, some of my homes don't look as nice as my pictures do. I'll say that much. Call some of your past clients and that you've sold houses to within the past couple of years and say, hey, I'm wondering if I can come over and give you a home evaluation, or I can email it so you know what your home is worth right now. Do you realize from when you bought it 3 years ago that it's probably more than doubled? Have you considered maybe cashing out? A lot of people are thinking about it right now. Go on to Active Rain, create an account on Active Rain. It's a real estate blog, and you can go and post blogs about it, or you can read blogs from other parts of the country and see what else is going on. It's also a great way to connect with other realtors in other areas. Now's the time always to connect with Canadian realtors. I just had somebody ask me the other day if we can do referrals up to Canada. Absolutely, because we know that they're going to flock down here. New York, New Jersey, some of those states, those colder states that are being out taxed. People in New Jersey can't wait to get out because they can't afford the property taxes on their houses. So it's a great place to connect. Plus Active Rain, once again, if someone Googles you, your blog is there. It shows a little bit more about you. Next on my list is to spend just time surfing the MLS and study the MLS. If you work particularly in one area, you should know how many single family homes are on the market in that city. Let's just take Coconut Creek or Parkland, which are smaller cities. Know how many are on the market, know what the price ranges are. If we know that one neighborhood is hotter than another, kind of know how many go on there. The more knowledge you have when you're meeting with your buyers and sellers, the more they're going to always want to work with you or refer you. You need to be the expert in our industry. Next on my list is attend a training. Well, you did one this week, so you're a step ahead. Even if you don't want to sit in on a training, you can go on. Florida Realtors has a whole series of Take 5. They're 5-minute short videos. Watch one a day, gain a little extra something. I still never stop going to trainings or anything, because if I can take one thing away and apply it to my business, then I've learned something. It's that old saying, we're never too old to continue to keep learning. Go to some broker opens. Broker opens are a great way, once again, to see inventory that's out there. And you're also networking with other realtors and getting to know other people in the marketplace. We work with them all the time. It's a great way to build connections. Listen to one real estate podcast a week. Sometimes if you're just driving in your car, put a podcast on instead of listening to the radio and all the commercials on the radio. Listen to a podcast and maybe take something away from it. Keep yourself educated. Set work goals. This is my biggest thing for everybody, is to always have goals. What do you plan on accomplishing by the end of the week? Do we work off of a schedule? How are we managing our time? And then put them together on Sunday. And by Friday, review them. Where did I fall short? Where did I exceed at? What do I need to work better on? Did I follow up the way I wanted to follow up? Schedule a time to meet with me. I've offered all my services to everybody to sit down and go through business plannings, to strategy, to ways that you can help grow your business, to give you ideas. I offer it completely for free. I offer free coaching, but people, it's depending whether you want to commit to it or not. Number 18 on my list, get your testimonials and post them onto Google Review. So once again, we're talking about building your presence online and getting everything out there. How many people, when they're looking to dine in a restaurant or even buy something off of Amazon, that we look how many stars it has? Well, let's build our Google review. And those testimonials are so easy to get because we have two ways to get them. One is, they're right in the back of Real Satisfied and Rate My Agent. And they're on your realtor dashboard. You just click on them. One of them, I think it may be Real Satisfied, post directly to realtor.com too. I would probably suggest using that one so you can get your reviews also on realtor.com. But I think it's Real Satisfied, but double check on it. And once again, it's a free service too. And it just sends a nice little template. It even shows you all your past sales, so you don't even have to dig it up. You just have to plug their emails in. All right, so, and the next on my list is to schedule a Zoom call. I mentioned a couple times that Chris Bell and I are working together for certified home loans, but if you want to stay up to date on what's going on in lending, and if you want to know the latest programs or the interest rates or where we think it's going, or we have so many different programs out there because we use so many different lenders, we're happy to sit on a 15-minute Zoom call with you, educate you a little bit so that when you're talking to your clients, you're a little bit more knowledgeable. And Chris is willing to do that with us as well. Next on my list is to work on that database. If you've missed those trainings I did about it, that's posted on our Facebook page, go back and watch them. Really build that database, work that database, be calling at least 5 people a day off of your database, reaching out to them, and keep it consistent. Update your LinkedIn and also connect with other people. Make sure your LinkedIn has your work profile updated. It's got your bio in there. And then go out and connect with other realtors, other loan officers, or any other ancillary programs. Once again, connecting with realtors that are out of the state. It's a great source of referral, or even the other side of the state. So add them to your LinkedIn and it should generate you, hopefully it generates you some referral business. Next is to contact 5 absentee owners. We all know absentee owners are people that own the property here in Florida, but don't reside in the property. Maybe some of them reside out of state. These are really easy to find through our tax rolls. The address is different than the property address. Super easy. Contact 5 a day. Call them up or write them a handwritten card. Do you know what your property is worth here in Florida? Sometimes they don't know, and they don't realize that now should be the time that they're cashing out on it. Or maybe they're looking to invest in another one. Maybe they can do a cash out refi. We can refinance for them, pull out some of that equity that they have now and put it and purchase another one. So call 5 absentee owners. First sale by owners, still the greatest source of business. We know that they want to sell, so let's reach out to them. And these are the easiest to find because there's tons of websites out there that they post and advertise, and they put their phone numbers right on it. So it's really easy to call them. And if you want, I think, I don't know if they're on, but we'll do I think there's a previous one on for sale by owners and how to really navigate them on it. I had a broker years ago. He used to say e-ball was his thing. Every buy owner lists. So, and they do. It's proven that 90% of them will eventually list their property with a realtor. They get a little frustrated, and they do. Next is to contact expired listings. These are people that they tried to sell maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, but now they're even more, that their property's worth more than it was. Contact some of these seasoned expireds. Really easy to search for them or MLS. And nowadays with the internet, you can get people's phone numbers so easily. The next I have is to contact landlords. These are people that rented their property about 10 months ago. I know I've talked about this before. You're only going to get one of 3 responses. One, I'm very happy with my tenant, they're staying. Great. The next is, my tenant's moving, I need to relist for rent. Or, you're right, I waited for the market to shift, now is the time to sell my property. I'm done dealing with tenants who trash my property and don't pay their rent on time. So 2 out of 3, you're going to get a listing out of it. And the last thing on my list is to make sure you take time for yourself. Always schedule some personal time, make a little self-care or an activity, maybe exercise, go to the spa, whatever it is. You would not believe how much that always enhances your work. You have to make time for yourself, time with your family too. It's a balance of work and that. Next week, I'm going to dive into time management and really how to balance, especially with holidays coming, making sure we're staying on track because the holidays are going to be here before we know it. Seems like we're almost into the 4th quarter and time has flown by this year. With that, I just want to touch base. As we know, the market, we are starting to see homes sit longer. We're starting to see a little less activity. This always happens in our area this time of year, regardless, because when kids go back to school, people tend to slow down, but we're going to start to get that influx of people coming from up north. Our snowbirds are coming back, so they're going to be looking at property. So it's a really good time to remind people now is definitely the time to list. Don't think about waiting till next year. We're going to get that influx of snowbirds coming down and people vacationing as soon as the weather starts to get cold up north. They tend to flock to us because we have that Florida sunshine. I also just want to remind everybody, we've skated so far really good through hurricane season, but it is coming upon us through September. We've had extremely warm weather. Those waters are warm. We don't know what to expect. Wilma didn't even hit us till the end of October. When it did hit years ago, the force majeure clause, it is kind of vague in my own personal opinion. It just says until you can resume business. What does that mean though? It's vague. So make sure if we do have something, remember you get those binders for insurance, because once we're in a cone, there's no binders being written if you've got closings coming up. So if there's a threat of anything out there, urge your buyers to do it. If you're on the listing side, remind the co-op agent to get them to buy in the insurance. God forbid if it hits, insurance rates will go up, so they want to do it anyway. And the first force majeure just set out a plan, obviously, to communicate with the other realtor, and it's got to be when everybody has internet. If it goes down, it's kind of questionable. If you do have any signs or anything, and we do get any type of threats, be sure to take those signs off the front lawn. The last thing you want is your sign going through someone's window, and guess what? They're going to come after you, Steve, and say, hey, you owe me. Yeah. So we don't want to, just make sure you do that, reminding all sellers to do what they need to do to keep the house secure if it's listed as well. With that, interest rates are still sitting exactly where they were about last week. We are getting more and more programs. I cannot stress enough, if you've got VA or FHA buyers out there, we're still doing those to be determined loans where we can take them, put them completely through underwriting prior to you even submitting an offer, so that all we need is the property address, and we need insurance, we need an appraisal and title, and that's it to close. So it changes the dynamics of a VA buyer and FHA in this market, that people are afraid to commit to them when they're either 100% financing or putting 3.5% down. Once again, if you've got any concerns, questions, or conundrums, you can always contact me outside of this call. The office is still open. I'm usually here 3 to 4 days a week if you need anything. And we're going to continue to do these every Thursday, as promised. Always, it's to help you increase your income, keep your business consistent, and anything I can do to help lower that cost of doing business. I do hope that you found this list of 25 items useful. You can go out today and start doing some of them. Once again, they're all free. They don't cost you anything. And it's great ways to continue to market yourself and get your name out there. With that, I look forward to everyone joining me next Thursday. As always, same time, same login, same passcodes, everything. So thanks everybody for joining me this Thursday, and make it a great day.